All right, who can read that first paragraph where Rose scored? Okay, let's go with Darius, and then I'll have someone read the next paragraph. Go ahead. Rose scored.
Rose scored several points in the annual basketball championship.
Okay, time out. Two things I want to point out. What championship is this? What kind of championship is this? Annual basketball. So we're talking about basketball. Is that important to know? Yes, because I'm going to ask for your guesses, and you're like, if you're not talking about the right sport, it doesn't make sense. And then how many points did she score?
Several.
How many points did she score? Okay, do they tell me exactly how many? No, but I know a couple things here. This is using logic. Did she score 0 points? No, impossible. 1 point?
Yes.
No.
Why not 1 point? Because she scored, but one is one free throw. Made it, that's it. Hudson?
I guess she could score one.
But what does it say about how many points she scored?
She scored 5.
Okay, you're starting to use the definition. I get what you're saying here. Yep.
Is it several?
Several. Can one be several?
No.
All right, how about 2?
Yes.
2 is usually not several. What usually tends to start up several? 3 or more. 3 or more. So how many points did she score? 3 or more. At least 3. And do we know how many after that? I don't know. Okay, keep going, Darius. So she scored several points in the annual Who's trying out for basketball? Boys or girls? Any girls? Okay. Apparently there are no 7th grade girls trying out. Is that the case? Because the other class had no girls trying out.
What about the 8th graders?
Oh, the 8th, I haven't had them yet, but I'm sure several 8th graders will. Wow. Wow.
There was only one girl that did basketball, and she's going to do this year.
Wow, okay. All right, but boys, how many of you trying out for basketball? I'll see you guys later then. Because I'll help. I'm just helping out Coach with selecting the players. I can't coach this year, but I can help with the tryouts. But if you know what sport we're talking about, then you know, okay, these are the possibilities for points. Question?
This is kind of random, but
Yeah.
are you going to be calling out the starting lineups again like last year at home games?
I'm not sure. I would love to, but I don't know. They may have said, you know what? We're tired of Mr. A's voice. He's done. We're going to cut that guy's voice off from Mitchell Road. Especially since the first game I did, I'll tell you a little story. The first game I announced, it was obviously our Mitchell Road boys versus Bob Jones Lions. And I was ready. It's my first time. All right, I had the list of names and I had the mascots. And now, for your Mitchell Road Christian Academy Lions, Eagles. Uh-oh, that's the other team. Okay, so I messed up. But it was just a small thing, right? Kind of the same Animal Kingdom, right? No, I messed up, and that was my first time. It was fun. So we are the Eagles. Did you guys know that?
No,
Okay, good.
I didn't know that.
So I made that mistake. Okay, go, Darius, go ahead before I embarrass myself more. Lois.
Lois scored 5 more points than Rose, while Gia scored 7 fewer.
Mm-hmm. And then, keep going. Mm-hmm.
Anna scored twice as many points as Rose, and Mary scored half as many. What mathematical expression can represent the number of points each player scored?
Okay, do I have a lot of numbers given in that paragraph? Yes, I do. I have 7 fewer, 5 more, twice as many, half as many. I have a lot of numbers, but what we're going to do next is we're going to look at how we can write these in expressions that would make sense and then therefore going to be usable in the future. So, my very first question, do I know how many points Rose scored? No, I do not, right? So that's where we're going to say, it's several, that her number is represented by the letter P. P is a variable. What do variables represent? Unknown numbers. So I don't know her point score, but I'm going to use P. Could we have used another variable? Of course. X, N, Q, R, L. We're just going to use P for points. All right. The first person we're going to look at, though, is Lois. Does anyone know anything about Lois's points scored from that paragraph? Alex?
She scored 5 more than Rose.
Okay. 5 more points than than rows. Sorry, 5 more points than rows. Okay, I don't know how many rows scored, but how do you show, using this variable, 5 more points than P? How do you write 5 more points than P, Brett?
Plus 5.
So you're going to put P plus 5. However many rows scored, which was several, you add 5 to that number, right? And what was the key word in this phrase that helped me to know, wait, how do you know it's plus 5? What's the key word? More, all right? Or some may say more than. Okay, so that's how many points Lois scored. So let me ask this question here. William, who scored more, Lois or Rose? Lois did, right? Because she scored 5 more points. And that makes sense. The next person we're talking about is Gia. All right, what does it say about Gia's points scored? What do we know about Gia? Matthew?
She scored 7 fewer.
7 fewer points than Rose. And now that I think about it, who scored more, Gia or Rose? Who scored more?
Rose.
Okay, Rose did. So how would I use the variable P to describe how many Gia scored? Anyone? Hudson?
P minus 5. P minus 7.
P minus 7. That looks right. But I'm a little confused. Where's the key word, somebody? Keyword. Fewer or fewer than? All right. I thought it would be 7 minus the points that Rose scored. Why is it reversed? Hudson knows. William, Alex, no. Sophie?
Because Rose, she had, if you subtract 7 from what Rose has, then that's how many Gia has.
Oh, okay. But I'm so confused because it seems like they should say that differently. And let me give you an example. All right. We're going to play a game. Swivel, don't make fun of me. I want you on the top right of your page, you're just going to write a number. Just write how old you think I am. Guys, remember, your answers matter. I will retaliate if it's a bad one. No, I'm just kidding. Just go. Give me a number. Don't say it out loud. Just write blah. No, I am not 19. So that's not a good guess. And no, nor am I 65. Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah, not yet. Oh, all right. Good job, guys. Let me give you, before I get these answers, let me give you some help. I asked this question. Yes, ma'am?
Oh, are we supposed to
This right here? Yeah, I would write this down. Yeah, it's going to help you out. But as I'm talking, put your guess up here. I asked my 6th graders when I taught at my previous school, and that was 4 years ago. Okay, I asked 6th graders, all right, how old do you think I am? So they're raising their hands, and they're like, 53. 48. 39. 47. And by that time, my heart was so broken that I walk out of the room. Thankfully, the doors were right behind me, so I just walk out of the room. I'm wiping away precipitation that is coming out of these two things. And I compose myself and I say, it's okay. I come back after wiping my eyes, and I'm still a little bit red-eyed. I come back and I compose myself. I look at them, and they're giving me the face like, who got it? Who got it? I can't teach anymore that day. I gave up completely. No. I did have a sad moment there. I was like, what are you guys talking about? Please don't say 53. Please don't say 47. And then let's see what you guys got. All right. I am not 20-something. I know. It's hard to believe. I'm not 20 this, 20 that. But I am also not 40 this or 40 that. And if you said that, don't tell me, please. Don't tell me you said that. All right. I am 30, not 5, not 7, not 8, not 1. But I am 32.
I said 36.
I hope you mean I'm 2 years old then, not the other way. All right, did anyone get 32?
Well,
Oh.
4 years ago you were 30.
I got 32.
28. So I was 28 and people were calling me 40 something. Now, bonus point, no, okay. Thank you guys. And shame on you if you said I was older, and thank you even more for those who said I was younger. All right, anyway.
I said you were 9
3 years old.
I did 1. Zeros.
I'm getting that same feeling I got 4 years ago. Okay, anyway, who is 12 in here? Who's 12 years old? Okay, Eva, can I use you as an example? Okay, you don't have to come up here, but Eva, I would say Eva is 20 years less. I'm going to use the word less than. There's a better way to say that, but I'm just saying less than Mr. A, which really sounds worse now that I write that on the board. Okay. Do you guys see what's the key word in this phrase?
20.
Sorry. Key word is going to be the less than. Yeah, the number is going to mean something. Okay. How would I show that? If I didn't know Mr. A's age, let's use A to mean Mr. A's age. Okay, so that's my age. A, I don't know it. You guys were guessing. But I could have said I'm 20 years, Eva is 20 years younger than I am. Okay, how would I write that with an expression kind of like what I did up there? Yes, ma'am?
Eva.
Oh, sorry. Eva, we don't have her variable, so don't use equals, but do the rest.
Am I saying how old you are or Eva is?
You're saying how old I am.
Okay.
Based on Eva's age, yeah, which is tough.
20 years older.
Okay, I'm 20 years older, good. So you're using like a different phrase, you're like reversing it, which is fine. What I guess I mean is like, how do you write an expression like that? Alex? No equals. No, we don't know Eva's age, nope. Okay, actually you guys are thinking, you're actually thinking equations, both of you, which is not bad because guess what this chapter is going to lead us into? Equations. But I would say this, Mr. A's age minus 20. I would say A minus 20 is what Eva's age is, right? So how old is Mr. A in our real life scenario? He's 32. It's 32 minus 20. Isn't that her age? Would I say this for Eva's age? 20 minus A. Okay, how old's Mr. A again?
36.
So what's 20 minus 32? What's 20 minus 32? She is negative 12 years old.
12 years until her birth.
Yeah. No one knows that, which is except for our Lord. But yeah, we would not say this. We would use this right here. So on this expression, guys, 7 fewer than rows. Listen up. 7 fewer than rows means rows minus 7, right? Her points minus 7, not 7 minus Rose's points. That doesn't fit with this description. Okay. Maybe that clarified it. Maybe made it more difficult. I hope it did. That's okay. Hopefully you can get it. Anna. What do we know about Anna's points? What does it say about her points in that expression? On twice as many.
A minus 20, that means Eva's 13.
Twice as many points as, I'm going to have to squeeze it in, as Rose. Okay, twice as many points as Rose. So who scored more, Anna or Rose?
Anna.
Okay, Anna, right? But how do I show that using the variable P? Drew? Okay. Okay, good. And that came up a lot. It's 2 times P is the way you prefer to write it. You could say the letter P times 2, but when you have a variable and the number multiplied, you can just write them side by side. All right. However many points Rose scored, twice that would be Anna's points. All right. And then lastly, Mary. What do we know about Mary's points? Yeah, we have Mary and Anna in here. Sophie?
She scored half as many.
Half as many points as Rose. So who scored more, Rose or Mary? Rose scored more. Okay. And how would I write that? There are two ways you can think of it, and you need to know both ways. They're just as important. One is just as important as the other. Andrew?
P over 2.
Whoa, P over 2. So like P divided by 2? Okay. What's the other way of writing it? Or, Hudson?
P minus 1/2.
Close. I think, Jackson, you said P times 1/2 or 1/2 P. Okay, I'm a little confused with that statement because, wait, what operation is going on here? What operation P over 2? Division. What operation is going on here? Whoa, wait. You could say as division or multiplication? Why is that even possible? You can write it as a multiplication problem or as a division problem. You know why? Because multiplication and division are very closely related. In fact, you can alternate between the two. Okay, what's half of 20?
10.
So I asked, what's half of 20? You said 10. That's correct. What's 20 divided by 2?
10.
Both problems get me the same answer? That means I can say it either way. This, guys, is I'm still trying to drill it into Algebra 1 honors. This little thing right here. If you have a variable over a number, you can rewrite it as a fraction times a variable. It's the same thing. Okay, what's the key word in this one? Half. And then the last one, I missed it out. Twice. Good. So we got those keywords there. You guys okay with that? Now, the last class, and maybe you're wondering, well, how many points did Rose score? I don't know. But I do know this. However many points she scored, can I figure out how many Lois scored after that?
Yep.
Can I find out how many, who's this? Gia, and then Anna, and then Mary? Okay, so I can figure it out, but I don't have enough info, so here's what I'm going to do. Not a guess, because your guess can be, well, here, do it right here. What's the least amount of points she could have scored? Rose, go figure it out. Least amount of points she could have scored. Don't say it out loud, just figure it out, because it takes time. Write that on the top right. Your lowest amount of points that Rose could have scored. Rose could have scored at least this many.
8.
Write it on your paper. You have a guess? Write it on your paper. Okay, how about this? Let's just do a process of elimination. Could Rose have scored 1 point? Okay, first of all, there are two reasons she couldn't have done that. Is that several? Is 1 point several? And what do you know about Gia? She scored 7 fewer than Rose. If Rose scored 1, how many did Gia score? -6. Does that happen?
She could have scored on the wrong goal.
All right. So, guys, what's the minimum now? All right. Who has a guess and thinks? I think I got it. Brad?
8.
Okay, 8. Let's see here. If she scored 8, how many did Gia score?
1.
Okay, 1 point.
She could score 7.
It's 7.
No. Divided by 2.
Yeah, but she could score,
but you
score
can't-
0.
You can't get
Good. Some of you are thinking it could have been 7. Well, maybe, but look at this. Mary scored half as many points as Rose. What's half of 7? 3.5. Do you score 3.5 points in basketball?
No.
No, you don't go halves. So it can't be an odd number, in fact. All right, anyone else? So Brad, you said 8? 8? Okay, anyone else? Yep, there's 10.
8 or 10.
What?
3 or more.
Okay, 10. Let's just use 10. How many would Lois score if Rose had 10? 15. That works. Gia?
3.
3. Anna?
She won.
20. And Mary?
5.
5. Is 10 several points? Can you describe 10 as several points? Can anyone give me a smaller number?
8.
Okay, let's go with 8. 8. How many did Lois score then? 13. How many did Gia score? 1. How many did Anna score?
16.
And then Mary? 4. Oh,
Press the treble.
thank you. All right. 8 is a good guess. 7. What do you think about 7?
No.
No, because if she scored 7, Gia scored 7 fewer, so Gia scored 0 points. I mean, you could say that, but she did score some points, at least 1. All right, let's go to this next slide. All right, write these keywords down because we're going to translate, and I need to give a little disclaimer about this list. These are keywords, and in fact, I would say they're not even all the keywords. Are there other words that can describe addition or subtraction or multiplication? The next screen is division, by the way. Yes, these are not all the words. Mr. A, what are all the words? I don't know them all yet. Some of them I have never encountered. Some of them I encounter a lot, and some of them I only encounter them very seldomly. But they're there. These are just some of the key words. Some of them I see, some I see more often than not. Exceeded? Yeah, and I'll ask you guys a question after that. Out of all of these addition words, so just the addition words, which one would be maybe the least likely to see? Exceeded. Yeah, we don't see exceeded as much, but it is there. What about subtraction? What would be the least likely?
Decrease by.
Okay, decrease by. Yeah, that's not as common. Decreased or decreases. You can use that, but decrease by is a little less common. What about difference? You see that a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, difference is the key word of subtraction. Like when I say difference in math, automatically it's subtraction. Must be. What's the key word for addition? Sum. When you see sum, S-U-M, you should automatically think there's addition going on. But I have a little disclaimer. Let's see if you guys can get it. If I see one of these words for the addition side, does that 100% mean it's addition?
Yes. Yeah, because it's under addition.
Okay, it is under addition. Yep. Is a 100, like if you see more, you think 100% addition. No. In our case, I would say like 96%, 97%. Almost always you're going to get those. But addition and subtraction are very closely related. So technically, you can interchange these right here. You can interchange them just depending on the context. Don't worry too much about that now, but it is possible. Subtraction, key word is difference. What's the key word of multiplication? Good, product. You need to know that word for sure. It's the key. Twice means times 2. Double also means times 2. All right, who needs more time for this list? Okay, finish it up. I'll get to division shorter. What's the least likely for multiplication? What's the least likely up there that you probably don't see as much?
Double?
Yeah, you don't see double very much. You see twice, times, and product, but double, not as common, but it is there. You'll be ready for it. Okay, here's my division list. Half. Notice what I put in for half. What does half mean? Divided by 2 or times 1/2. So it's either or. And really it's the one you want to use more easily. I would say, yeah, use one or the other. But you can see either way. What's the least likely out of these three? Whoa. Quotient is the key word of. Now, Drew, let me help. I'm gonna come a little bit on that side here. Quotient is the key word of division, but it's also it's not commonly used out there. You don't see quotient of this. You see divided into, divided by, divided. Half is really common. Quotient is not that commonly used, but you guys know quotient is the key word, so you should know that one. All right, I didn't have you just write these words for fun. You know what? I want them to write a list of words. Here's the list. I want you guys to do this. On this list, you have a bunch of keywords. On your homework, you have a lot of keywords. Should you know which operation goes with what? And the answer to that is yes. Starting with let's start with this one. Go to page, I think it's 65. On the very bottom, try these. You guys see that? try these on the bottom, page 65. Who can read those instructions out loud? Nobody? Okay, Alex, go ahead.
Write each as a mathematical expression, then classify each as a numerical or algebraic.
Alex, that was like 10 minutes ago. Who can tell me what a numerical expression is? Drew? Numerical expression. Only numbers. Okay, so numerical, only numbers. What's algebraic then?
Not only
It has variables. Is it only variables for algebraic? No. It usually does have numbers as well, but it does have a variable. Okay. All right, so I'm looking at this right now, and I want to translate it. And does this look familiar to any problem we've done today?
maybe.
Oh, sorry. Ugh. Go ahead and work it out. Go. I just want you to translate it. I don't want you to work it out. Just tell me what phrase would I have here? What plus this times that divided by that, subtract that? I don't know. Which one is it? But if you need help, what are the key words, Michelle?
Less than
So less than is a key word. Mm-hmm.
and twice.
And twice, right here. Okay, so we have two keywords. That means we have two key operations, and I hope you know which ones they are. Okay, this right here, this twice 6, that goes together. Twice 6, right? How do you write twice 6? Don't give me the answer. How do you write it? Yes, ma'am. Gracie?
2 times 6.
2, and you can write 2 times 6, 2 times 6. This is the fun part where I get to write it every way possible, which is not very fun. How many ways are there to write 2 times 6?
A lot.
So many ways that you can even reverse it. And does anyone know why you're allowed to switch the numbers around? Any one of those is going to be correct. So are you okay with that? Do I have to write that every single problem? Like you could do this, you could do that. Mr. A, instead of 6 times 2, can you say 2 times 6? I'll look at you with piercing eyes. I will breathe in to calm myself down. And when I breathe out, I will say to you, blank property. What's the blank? Commutative. You could do this or that. Commutative property. You guys remember that from your test? Uh-oh. Okay. So I'm just going to use one of them. I'll just go twice 6. Okay. How do I say 8 less than twice 6? How do I say 8 less than twice 6? Be very careful with this. Sophie?
Twice 6 minus 8.
Yeah, twice 6 minus 8. That's how you write it. You do not write it 8 minus twice 6. What a great question. All right, you cannot do this. You are allowed to do that, which is the correct answer. By the way, can someone tell me how to work this out? Now, you don't have to work it out. We're just going to see why we shouldn't do it the second way. So what do I do first here, Hudson?
You multiply 2 times 6.
And what do I get? 12 minus 8?
4.
I get 4. Great. So don't write that down. You don't have to figure that out today. But this one, what do I have to do first? 2 times 6 is 12. What's 8 minus 12? Oh, they're just complete opposites. Is that acceptable?
No.
Yeah, and you would say if the answer is right, if positive 4 is correct, you got the complete opposite answer. And we're okay with that, right? No, we're not okay with that. So that is not the answer. Okay, emphasis on the scratching out. Okay, next one. Can you guys close your eyes real quick? All right. Let me add something to it. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, good job, guys. Whoever closed your eyes. Some of you are like, yeah, I'll close my eyes, Mr. A.
I'll close my eyes. I ain't close my eyes. I'll close my eyes.
All right, go ahead. Half of the absolute value? What is that? Of W added to 15. All right. Absolute value. Did I write that as a keyword? Absolute value? But do you know what absolute value is? Okay, give me the keywords here, somebody. Josiah, give me one. Half. Yes, Jack?
Absolute value.
Absolute, but I didn't write that. Okay, we'll just let it go. And then added. Or added to. Okay. Absolute value. What does that mean? Remember the distance from 0? So those little bars, those long bars. What's half? Either divided by 2 or times 1/2. I'm just writing little symbols to help me out. And then added. Please don't insult us or yourself by putting something other than that. For this case. Okay. What's the absolute value of W? How do you write the absolute value of W? Darius.
W was between 2 lines.
All right. Absolute value of W. What's half of the absolute value of W? Half. So how do you write that? So I got this part. How do I say half of that? Gotcha.
1/2 W.
Okay, you could say 1/2, remember, times the absolute value of W, or you could say the absolute value of W divided by 2. Either one is going to be acceptable. Okay, do you guys notice the little symbol here, comma? I'm going to tell you this right now. When you get older and you start writing more and more papers, like you feel like you're writing a lot now, you start writing more. You know what's going to get a lot of you knocked off on grammar? Comma. Either you use it too much, like comma here, comma there, comma, 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 or you don't use it at all or enough. Okay, this comma right here is saying half of the absolute value of W, and then added to 15. So how do I say added to 15?
Plus 15.
So you can put it right here, plus 15. You can put it right here, plus 15. And let's see if you guys can figure this one out. Is that okay?
Nope.
All right. How many of you are okay with this one? You're okay with that answer? That makes sense. It's good. Okay, you're okay with this one? How many of you are a little iffy on this one? Like you're like, kind of, I don't know, kind of. Can you just write the 15 on the other side and it'd be the same value? I don't know. Okay, what's going on between the half and the absolute value of W? What operation? Multiplication, right? These guys are together. You don't just separate them apart. What's going on between 15 and this value? They're being... Okay, what's happening between this and this value? What happens in addition when you switch the order? You're using what property? You're allowed to write it this way. That is allowed. That's fun. Okay, look on page 65. I want you guys to try out number 3 on your own. And then when you are done, you are allowed to ask your neighbor or someone in front or behind, if you don't have someone right next to you, ask them what they got, see if you match up. Or number 3 on page 65. Try these. Yes, me? Okay, it says, 3 times the sum of y and 7. So, what are the keywords? Times and sum. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's being multiplied? So that's 3 and the sum. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's being summed up? This and that. So what is going on between y and 7? Sum. They're being added, and that sum is being multiplied by 3. That's tough. All right, keywords here, Atlanta. What's a keyword? Times. What's another keyword? Jack? Sum. Okay, listen carefully, guys. This is where we get our grammar lesson. Okay, how many of you agree that there's multiplication and addition going on? And you are correct if you think that. That's correct. But what's being multiplied and what's being added? That's what we have to answer. All right. What's being multiplied? 3 and the sum. 3 and the sum. All right. You're like, sum. What does sum refer to? What's being added? The y and the 7. Okay. So I think you kind of link those up. So what's going on between y and 7? Added, right? What's going on with 3 and this sum? That's how you write it. Not.
Yeah, but
Could you also write it? Could you like?
Hold on. One at a time. I will get. Yes, sir.
Could you also write it y plus 7 times 3?
Okay. Yeah. You said y plus 7 times 3 or times 3. Like a little symbol. Yep. Because of which property? When you switch around factors. Okay. Now, if you didn't put parentheses, I understand because that's not super common, but isn't it saying 3 times the sum? And isn't a sum referring to addition? So you have to say 3 times this whole thing, not just 3 times. What's going on here? It's just 3 times y. And that's not what it said. It said 3 times the sum of y and 7. Okay. Last one here, number 4. Yes, do it on your own. And I'll check you guys. Yes, number 4, the next one. The product of 8 and double a number n. Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Can we look at our notes behind?
Yeah, of course. Look at your notes. Look at the work there. Can I give you a help with this? A sentence I could use is this. I'll just say it out loud. The math teacher, comma, Mr. A, comma, is 32 years old. Do you guys notice how I use those commas? The math teacher, comma, Mr. A, comma, is 32 years old. So math teacher and Mr. A, what do we know about those two things? They're the same thing, right? The math teacher is Mr. A, or Mr. A is the math teacher. So when it says here, double a number, comma, n, what's the number? It is n. The number is n. You're like, wait, n is a variable. Yeah, what's a variable stand for? An unknown number. Oh my. Reveal time. 8 times 2n. 2 times n times 8. Sorry? When you have a variable and like that, you got to put it 2 then n. Because this right here we don't recognize, so write it like that. But that's okay. Yep. Because of what? I'm going to pierce through here because of commutative property. Yeah, if you said 2n times 8, that's the same thing. Do you guys notice what I scribbled here? I scribbled something here. I didn't erase it, but I scribbled it.
16.
And you're like, wait, what? What's 8 times 2?
16.
So what's going on between 2 and n, first of all? What's going on? What's going on between 8 and 2n? So can I just do in any order? Can I work it out in any order? Yeah, and I'm just going to do that. That's 16n, but you don't have to know that yet. Okay, your homework tonight. And you can ask questions. Feel free. Yes, you can see your test as well. 1 through 21 odd. And number 31. Pages 71, 72. You guys okay with that? Well, sorry. Yes, you can see your test in just a moment. Goodbye, Swivel.